Welcome back, Tigers! This is the first video in the DocuSign for Salesforce integration series. We have lots of ideas to share with you, from how to set up the integration to how to configure specific forms and have them right back into Salesforce. We will also show you how to automate the creation of Salesforce contract records when your customers sign a DocuSign document. In this video, we're going to review how to set up and configure the DocuSign e-signature for Salesforce package to send a proposal from an opportunity record. We will show you how to deal with the most common challenges we see when configuring recipients, the workarounds needed for address, date, and currency fields, and how to add opportunity products to the proposal and more. Now let's hop over to Salesforce and go get started. The first step is to set up a DocuSign demo account. Now this account is just like a Salesforce sandbox. We're going to connect our DocuSign demo account to our Salesforce sandbox to do for testing. Now we highly recommend that you don't go for broke in your DocuSign production environment and do all of your testing for a number of reasons. One, it's not best practice. You're going to have a ton of test data that's bad data in your production environment. Two, it's going to cost you money. Each time you generate that DocuSign envelope, you're going to incur a cost that's going to go against the number of envelopes that you've purchased from DocuSign. So you'll definitely want to set up this developer account so that you're not incurring any of those costs. We'll provide the link to this site in the description below, and you're going to click Create Account, and then you'll enter in your information here to set up a developer account. Now, one thing to remember, if you set up more than one DocuSign demo account, do not use the same email address across different demo accounts. You will run into some issues where the users get crossed, and you'll have to open up a ticket with DocuSign support to help you get that unraveled. So they recommend that you use a unique username, which is tied to your email address across all DocuSign demo accounts. Same for DocuSign production environments. You need to use a unique email address there. You can use the same email address in your demo account that you're using in your DocuSign production account, but only one occurrence of that email address should occur on either side. You will fill out this form. We're going to do that off camera here. After you've created your developer account, you'll see a message like this, and then you'll need to go to your email. So you should get an activation email that looks like this. You'll click the Activate button, and then you will see a screen where you will enter in your password. Then you will see a screen that looks like this, and you are all logged into DocuSign. Make a note of this URL up here, because you will need that to be able to log into the demo account later. Now, next we are going to go to the App Exchange, and we are going to install the DocuSign e-signature for Salesforce package into Salesforce. We are in a developer account, so we're going to click Install in Production. Hopefully you're in a sandbox, so you will click Install in Sandbox. Now, DocuSign recommends that you install for all users. This does give your users access to some things that you may not want them to have access to. They say it's safe because in order for them to have access to anything in DocuSign, they need to have a license. Well, they still can see some tabs and other things, so you may want to install for admins only and then use the permission sets to give your users the access that they need. So we got this message because the DocuSign package is really giant. So we'll click Done, and we will wait for the email that lets us know that the package has successfully installed. We just received the email from DocuSign letting us know the package was installed, and now we can see the DocuSign Apps Launcher in our installed package list. Now we're going to go to the DocuSign Apps Launcher. We're going to click Advanced Options. This is only because that we are logging into a demo account. If you are connecting DocuSign to production, you will use the Login to DocuSign button up here. Then you will get a pop-up asking you to allow access. Then you will enter your Salesforce credentials. You will click Next, and then finally allow access. We'll give you this pop-up here. You will log in again. Once you see this screen, you are all set, and then you can go to User Management, and you should see your user there. Next, we have to decide whether or not we're going to relax the IP restrictions or if we're going to whitelist IP ranges. So you will need to go to the links in the description below. I've provided links to 3 different articles. One article is going to go over how you can relax the IP restrictions of the connected app. So you'll come to the Connected Apps, OAuth Usage. You will click Install on the DocuSign Connected app. And then you will come to a screen that looks like this. You will edit policies, and then you can go to this IP relaxation drop down here and select Relax IP Restrictions. Now, if your IT department does not want you to do that and they would rather you whitelist IP ranges, you can. So I will provide another link in the description below, which will provide you with the list of the different IP ranges that you will whitelist under the network access section. So I'll click Save here, and then I'll show you where you'll go to whitelist your IP ranges. You'll just go to Network Access, and then you'll click New, and then you'll just add in the IP ranges here and label them as a DocuSign IP range. Okay, our connected app is all set. We have relaxed the IP restrictions. So now the DocuSign connected app is able to write back data to Salesforce. Now we're ready to configure our first template in DocuSign. So we will go over to the DocuSign Apps Launcher, and we'll go to DocuSign Envelope Templates. Click New. Our first step is to name the template. And then we have to select the data source. So this is the record that you're going to put the DocuSign button on. So where do you want your user to be able to send the DocuSign envelope out for signature? We're going to use the opportunity in our example. Our first step is to upload a copy of our proposal. So we have that here. Then I'm going to rename this so that it's a little bit friendlier of a name. Okay, and then I'll click Next. Our next step is to add recipients. We will click Add Recipient, and then we can use a lookup field on the opportunity. We actually do have a primary contact lookup field, and you can also use your opportunity contact roles to filter from as well. So you can select opportunity contact roles, and then you can say, I only want the opportunity contact roles with a role of DocuSign signer to come in here. And then our template role is going to be signer 1, and maybe you have a field on your opportunity contact role that lets the user decide who's signer 1, who's signer 2. So those are some of the more complex scenarios. The scenario that we're going to use here is that there's one signer, and we're going to pull that signer from the opportunity contact role related list. One thing to note, if you are configuring a custom object in DocuSign and you're initiating the DocuSign send from a custom object record, and then you have your contacts in a related object to that custom object, this related list will not show that custom object. This related list only supports opportunity contact roles and contract contact roles. As of about 30 days ago, we checked it out with DocuSign support, and they confirmed that no other objects are supported there. We will set our action as needs to sign, and we'll click Add. Now you can add additional recipients. So if you wanted to, maybe the primary contact on the opportunity Maybe you wanted them to receive a copy of this. You'll set the role as receives a copy. You'll click add, and then you can assign a signing order as well. So first the person is going to sign the document, and then the second person is going to receive a copy. Then down here, you can set the subject line that you want the email to have when it goes to your customer or prospect. And we like to put in the name of the account that we're sending this proposal to. So we're going to say proposal for, and then you can use field merges in here. It's hard to find this info in the documentation. So if you want to get the account's name, here is the syntax that you'll use for that particular value. Then you can set whatever you want the email message to have in there. And that all looks good, and we'll click next. Here's where we're going to add our merge fields in. So you'll want to pull up your Word document that you are configuring to make sure that you account for all the fields that you need to create in here. So we have an account name, we need the phone, the address, primary contact's email address, we have a proposal expiration date. So let's start configuring some of those. So we'll click add field, and then you give it a second and it'll bring up a field picker here. We want to pull over the account name. So we'll go to this first one that says account ID, account reference. Give it a second. And then here's all the fields that exist on the account object. You'll select account name, and then you'll see here that DocuSign automatically drops the name of the field down here for you. I like what they do because they put the name of the object and then the name of the field after it. But I would add in op ACC account name, because this tells me that I went from the op to the account name. When you start having a lot of different field merges in DocuSign due to populating different documents that are initiated from the account or initiated from somewhere else, you need to be able to tell the difference between these fields easily from the list. Then over here, do we want to allow the person signing to edit this? Well, if their company name's not right, in this case, I do want them to be able to edit it. And then I want that to write back into Salesforce. Then this is a required field. If you didn't want them to be able to edit it, then you would just uncheck all of these and you would make it read only for the signer. Let's make it easy. Let's make everything read only in this scenario. You have more options down here. We're not going to get into any tooltips or anchor text. That'll be for a future DocuSign video. We'll click save, and then you'll see the field merge drop down here. We're going to add our next field, which is account phone. Then I'm going to make that, let's let them edit that one. I'll save that. Now you can see that the account phone is writing back and that the account name is read only. Next, we're going to put in the account address. So we'll select the account reference. And then we'll go to billing address. I'm going to make this read only. Click save. I'm going to add another field. This time, this is the primary contact. Like I said, I have a primary contact lookup to the contact object here. So I'll click that. Then that's going to bring up another dropdown. So the cool thing about DocuSign is you can go up to 4 levels away from your initial object. So it's really powerful because you can get data from just about anywhere. I'm going to use full name here. And then I'll change this to op primary contact full name. I'm going to make this read only and click save. Now I want to add in the primary contact's email address. I will select email. And I will name this op primary contact email. Make this read only. Next, I have a proposal expiration date. Now this is a date field that exists directly on the opportunity. Those of you who already know this isn't going to work, hang tight. I want to show everybody else that this isn't going to work properly, and we'll show you how to solve for it. We'll make this read only. Next, we have a place for the total investment. So this is the opportunity amount field. I will make this one read only as well. And then we also have our op products. So we're going to go to the list that says opportunity product right here, opportunity line items. We'll select that. Now in our proposal, we're listing out the name of the service and then the cost. So how this translates to the fields on the opportunity product is we want to pull in the product name and then we want to pull in the product price. So you may have to do some digging to find this. We'll make it a little bit easy on you. If you use the opportunity product name, it takes the name of the opportunity and then concatenates it with the product name, and we don't want to do that. So we're going to go to the price book entry, and we're just going to pull the product name because that's what we want. So we'll call this op price book entry product name, and this is read only. Next, we're going to add another field from the price book entry. We'll go to the op product, then price book entry, and then we want to use, we want to use the total price. This field, the total price field, is on the op product. So we have a sales price and a list price on the op product. Or the total price. So the difference between these, list price is the price that is listed in your price book. The sales price is the price that you're going to offer per unit. So this is the unit price, and then the total price is the sales price times the quantity. So we actually want the total price here. So we'll call this op product total price, and this will be read only as well. Right, we have all of our field merges in, pretty sure. And then we'll click next. And here's our document. So we're gonna drag and drop our fields onto this document. All the fields that you just created are underneath this menu called Merge Fields. So you will drag and drop name here. And where's our phone? Down here. Then address, primary contact full name, primary contact email, proposal expiration date. Now down here in the opportunity contact roles, one thing to note here, this is not scalable. This meaning or dynamic, like this table is not going to shrink and expand as you add more or less products. If you have that type of requirement, you need to have the DocuSign Gen product, because that will allow you to create tables that expand and contract depending on how many related items you have. If you're just starting out on DocuSign and you don't know if you need that, you can start with e-signature and see how it goes. Conga Composer is also another great solution that will allow you to put tables into your proposal, and it will expand and contract the table and show all of your related products as well, and it's dynamic. So those are your two different solutions for that. In this case, we usually only have like 3 products on our opportunities at most. And in this type of scenario, you may be able to get away with the solution that we're going to show you. But if you have like If you could have up to 10 products, then you're going to want to make your cost of services table bigger here, so that you're going to need to add in a place for each product that could exist. So you're going to have to add in the product name 3 times. And if there's only one will show. If there's three will show. But you have to have a row for each one. Now this first one, we'll click on this, and we're going to click the Salesforce part in the sidebar here. And you see that it says Salesforce row 1. You also saw that I dragged and dropped each one from the side here, and that's because this will not configure properly if you copy and paste these fields here. I've tried that and it didn't work. For the amount, for the total price of each product, you will drag it 3 times from the side as well. Now, the first one should say 1, the second one should say 2, the third one should say 3. Just confirm that you see that. Same thing for your total price. You should see a 1, a 2, and then a 3. Now we're going to line these up. DocuSign has a nice little easy way to line up your fields at the top here. And then you can also line up these rows. Everything looks better when it's lined up. All right, our op products are in. Now our op amount is our total investment. And then we also have a couple of other places down here where the company's name that we're doing business with should be pre-populated. And then we have more places over here so that their company name should be here. And now the rest of these are signer fields. So we're going to go to our standard fields picker, and this we're going to drag and drop here to the signature. Now you can see that these are all yellow, and you can see that this corresponds to this list up here. So if you have more than one signer, the second one's usually teal. So make sure that you've selected who's supposed to sign here. So we're going to do all of the signer 1 fields, and I'll show you how to add in a signer 2. We'll drag the title. We'll do the date and the name. Now you may have a certain font that you want to use here. You can update the fonts really easily if you highlight them all, and then you can go to formatting, and then you can change the fonts to be whatever you want all at once. It's a nice feature. Now each of these, you can see the configuration here. So anything that's yellow is going to be required. Anything that's white is read only. And then down here, we'll just come and we will edit these fields to format them into the same font. And then we will also do these, except you cannot configure the sign field merge. All right, so everything's in Calabrine. These are all required. You will save and close this. Don't know why it's showing in Classic. Here on this section, we will be able to configure automatic reminders. You can say if you want to bug them every 2 days if they haven't signed it yet, that's up to you. You can identify when this envelope is going to expire. Here you can also set settings for your users. If you don't want them to be able to configure the recipients or add the documents or change anything, you can choose which settings you want here. And then here's where we identify how do we want the documents to come back into Salesforce if we do it all. If you do, you'll need to check this box. So this is going to make the files come back in, the documents come back into the files related list on the opportunity. You can choose if you want to combine all of the documents into one PDF. If there's more than one, so if you're sending out maybe a proposal and a W-9, or maybe there's multiple documents that you want to come back separately, maybe an MSA and an SOW, you would want to leave that unchecked. You can define what you want the file name to be, and then you can say that you do or you don't want to save the certificate of completion. So this is just the e-signature tracking history of what happened whenever the user signed the document. Down here, you can configure some updates that you want to happen. I really love this feature because it allows you to change the opportunity stages for your users, because they always forget to do that. So when they send out an envelope, we can say that we want to update the stage to negotiation review. And then when it comes back signed, maybe you want to update the stage to closed won. So those two actions will now happen based on these field updates, which is pretty cool. I will click next. Here's where you will configure a button. So we want to call this DocuSign Proposal. And then I want to add it to my opportunity layout. I will click Save and Finish. And then let's go back to Lightning. Okay, I'm not sure what's happening with DocuSign here. Let's just refresh. Okay, and let's go to all, and now we see our proposal for services on the opportunity object. So this is what we just configured. Now I really hate this layout because I can't see everything on one screen, and we're never going to log activities related to the DocuSign envelope template records, and all the good stuff that I want to see is over here. So I'm going to configure a Lightning record page for this object. I'm going to do a header and a left sidebar here so I can see all of my related lists on the right hand side. We'll do highlights panel, record detail, related lists, and then I want my related list to be enhanced related list so that I can see more fields than what are there, than just a couple, and then I'll click save. I'll activate this. I'll assign it as that org default. That's all set there. Now I need to edit the page layout. Go to the page layout here. So let's just check out our related list. So yeah, we can't see any fields on our documents or our recipients. So let's add some additional fields here so that we know what we've configured. So we will call this name. To our documents. Our DocuSign envelopes. This one is okay. I don't think let's see. No, we don't need, well, Salesforce Source ID might be nice. Okay. We'll save this. Now let's come back here and let's refresh. There we go. Okay, so you can see why we wanted to see some additional stuff here, right? So we can see there's nothing in the name. Let's remove that off. Okay, so we can see our different roles. We can see the document. We can see that the source ID is actually the ID of this document. So whenever you upload a document here, it creates a file in Salesforce. If you wanted to look at this, you could. You can just put the ID into the URL and then it'll pull up the actual file. I don't know why it keeps going to classic. It's driving me nuts. I need to change my settings. Okay. All right, so this looks really good for our setup. You just want to verify that the email subject saved. This is the actual ID of the template within DocuSign. We'll show you what that looks like in a second here. This all looks really good. Now let's come in and say you need to edit this, and I want to put a second signer for the internal company, which is Florida Marketing Solutions. So I'll add a recipient, and then I'm going to add another signer, which is going to be a user. We'll say that I need to sign, and I will be signer 2. And we want to make sure that I'm signer 2, and then the primary contact for 3 will get a copy after the first 2 people sign. Now you can't just hit, well, based on my experience, if you hit save and close here, the recipients don't update. I've run into this before. So click next, and then it goes on to the next part of the screen, and then it saves everything, and then you can do save and close. But we want to actually place our second signer tags onto our document. We'll scroll down here, and we'll switch this to, oh, there's no signer 2. Let's go see what happened. Let's discard changes. Let's go back to our recipients. We can see our signer 2 did not save. Let's add that again. See, I told you. Needs to sign. Signer 2. Add. Oh, the signer 2 is missing here. So something's funky going on in DocuSign. So let me remove this. Let me click next. And you will see this happen sometimes. We'll click save and close, and we're just going to start over. We're going to see what's happened in the recipients here. This is actually a really good thing for you to see that this is real. Okay, so we've got 1 and 3 routing. I want to take a look at what this looks like over in DocuSign. When DocuSign logs you out of your demo account, it doesn't put you, it doesn't give you the link. If you just were to click login here, that's into DocuSign production. One thing to note. So I'll get the link here. To the demo account. We'll log in again. So you can see what happens over on the DocuSign side when you're configuring it from the Salesforce side. So here's your template here. And I just want to see what's going on. And so I'm going to edit this. Yeah, you can see that it says 1 and 3 as well here. Okay, let's bail out of here. And I'm going to delete this record. Come over here and make sure it was deleted from over here as well. So we can see that it was not deleted from over here, and that is because we need to be in our edit mode, and then it actually needs to sync down to DocuSign from this screen. So when you delete the record from Salesforce, nothing happens to make it update DocuSign. You actually have to go through these screens. So I'm going to delete this from here. I'll click next. Save and close. And now we should only see one recipient. We'll come over here and refresh while that's refreshing. So we can see we only have 1 recipient. Beautiful. So Make sure I did that on purpose so you guys can see. You delete the records from there, it doesn't do any good. All right, we'll go back in and we're gonna add our second signer and add our primary contact to receive a copy. We'll click next. We'll add our recipient. Do a signing order, and then we'll add our primary contact to receive a copy. We'll click add. We will click next. And then we will click next again. And then we should see our second signer. There we go. So it sometimes is buggy, but it's worth it. DocuSign's so amazing. Just be aware of that. So we'll change this right here to be the signature tags for the second signer, which is me. And then we can see all these signature tags are a different color, so we know who they go to. Then you can change the formatting. Okay. Now let's say I want my prospect to initial the first page. Okay, that's the only thing I see missing there. Let's save and close. And then I will click save and close here. And then we're going to check and make sure that we see all three recipients in Salesforce and in DocuSign to make sure nothing happened. Okay, that's perfect. Source ID is coming from my user ID. And then if I go to DocuSign and I refresh here, I should see 3 recipients. Perfect. We're all set. Now we're ready to test this. We're going to go to an opportunity. And I've got an opportunity right here. All right, let's look at some of this data here. I've got 3 products, one for creative services, legal and brand design, and website hosting services. Here are my prices. And then I've got my primary contact is Mickey Mouse. And then I have my expiration date is populated. If I go to Walt Disney World, I have an address. I also have a phone number. So all of our field merges should populate with information. Now, the one thing I don't have is a contact role. If I go to add contact roles and I add Mickey, now I need to choose a role. Now, remember we said that we're filtering for only the opportunity contact roles that have a role equal to DocuSign Signer. And I don't see a choice here. I will go into setup and add that role into the opportunity contact roles. Okay, let's see, type in role. Here's what we want, contact roles on opportunities. I will add a new one called DocuSign Signer. Now I should be able to add Mickey with a role of DocuSign Signer. There we go. And now I should have a button up here that was added and it's not there. So I have also seen this happen before as well, that the button doesn't get created from the DocuSign wizard. Let's first check the buttons. And yeah, I've been having this issue. So I have a solution for you. Which I actually prefer this route because you don't run into issues when you're deploying. When you create the button through the DocuSign wizard, it creates the button with an API name that's specific to the DocuSign envelope template record, and then you run into issues when deploying it. You get an error. So we're going to create a button, and I've got the button code right here. And the only thing that we need to do is replace the ID with the ID of the DocuSign envelope template record that we created. So make sure that you're on the DocuSign envelope template record. You grab this ID, and that's the ID that you paste in here. I'll put this button code in the description below. And this is being initiated from the opportunity, so all that is good. If you need to make a button for a different object, maybe it's account ID, you would replace this opportunity ID, just replace the word opportunity with account there and there, and then you'd be all set to use this on the account record. We will call this DocuSign proposal. It's going to be a detailed page button, and I want it to open in the existing window without the sidebar or header. We'll click save. Now I'll go to my page layout and I will add my button. We'll go to Lightning Actions, and then we'll drag that onto here. Okay, quick save. Now let's just refresh and make sure we can see that button. There we go. All right, now we're ready to test this finally. We'll click DocuSign proposal. We can see that it's pulling the proposal for us, and then it's pulling in the recipients. We've got 2 signers. We can see that the email subject pulled in Walt Disney World as the account name. And then I can set it to automatically remind. I can change the envelope expiration date. You can schedule this to be sent at a specific date and time if you want. It's a nice feature to have. Now there's going to be a couple of things that we got to fix in here that are yucky. So first, our address isn't coming in. So you'll notice we had that nice billing address field, and it's not getting populated in here. So that is a known feature, we'll call it. It's not a bug. That we will create a custom field for address that we can use to populate into DocuSign. Next, your dates. So all of your date formats are stored like this on the back end of Salesforce. What happens when DocuSign reads the data in Salesforce is it reads it in the raw format that it's held in. So Salesforce, whenever they show your dates on the front end, they will change it to whatever date format that you're using that you configure in the settings. If you want this to be in the US format, we will need to create a formula field. So I will show you how to do that as well. Next issue is any currency field is stored just like this in Salesforce in its raw form. We will create another formula field that we can use to show any currency field with commas and dollar signs and 2 decimal places. So we will need to do that for our total price as well as the amount field. And then we scroll down here and we'll just make sure that everything else looks okay. Yep, we have Walt Disney World coming in properly. And I actually missed one. I need to add in one more there, but this all looks really good. So I do not want to send this yet because this is not, to test it because this is not ready. So I will click discard here, and we're going to go and create our formula fields. The first formula field that we need to create is our amount field. We'll click new here. This will be a formula. And you can't choose currency as the type because you'll be in the same boat. So we have to create a text field, and then this is going to be called amount for DocuSign so that you know where and how you're using this. Now the formula, I will paste this in the description below. The formula that DocuSign has does not support millions. So yeah, millions, it only goes up to 1 million. So if you go up to the millions or billions, you'll need to use this formula. Now this is referencing the amount field. Perfect, so that all looks great. Then we'll put in our help text so that we know why we created this field. So this field is used in DocuSign to show the amount field in the correct currency format. Click next. We do not need to add this field to the page layout. Click Save and New. Now we need to do our proposal expiration date because we want that date to show in the US format. The name of our field is proposal expiration date for DocuSign. Our format is text, it's not date. You'll be in the same boat. So make sure you choose type text. And then our formula, we have a pretty simple one here. This is just taking the month, day, and year of the proposal expiration date and putting it with dashes. If you prefer to have the slashes, you can put those in, whatever your preference is. So you'll just replace both dashes with slashes if you want that. We'll add the help text. This field is used in DocuSign to show the proposal expiration date field in the US date format. It's not going on the page layout either. We'll click Save. Now we need to do our account billing address. We want our billing address to be all in one line. This is called billing address for DocuSign. This will be a text field as well. And then this is our formula. All of these formulas will be down below in the description for you to copy and paste. Then we'll add our help text. This field is used in DocuSign to show the billing address field in the correct format. It's not going on the page layout, and we'll click Save. Our next field that we need to fix is the total price on the opportunity product. Click New, the formula, text. This is called total price for DocuSign. The formula is exactly the same as the formula that we used for the amount field, except for the amount field is replaced with the total price field. Our help text is this field is used in DocuSign to show the total price field in the correct currency format. Not going to add it to the page layout. We'll click Save. So now we have all of our new fields created, and we will go back to our DocuSign envelope template record. And we will edit it. We'll click Next, Next, and then we're going to edit the amount field here. And we're going to choose amount for DocuSign. We'll click Save. We'll do the same thing for the proposal expiration date. Again, for the address. And then again for the total price. All right, all of those are updated. Now you might think that you're all set. Not so much. Anytime that you make a change to a field merge, it does not auto update on your templates. This is so crucially important. You will notice that nothing updates anywhere, which is kind of what you want, right? You don't want a change to a field to update a whole bunch of templates that you have configured out there. What you will need to do is remove the field from the layout, and then you're going to add it back again, because this field has the old configuration and you want the fields with the new configuration. So we will do billing address. And then our expiration date, total price, and then our amount. Okay, so let's fix the formatting of those. Let's line those up. Looks like we missed these two. Let's do those formats. Okay, and now we're going to add in our other missing field merge here that I missed on the first round. There we go. That one, wrong formatting. All right, we will save and close this. And we will save and close here. Now let's test again. We'll go back to our opportunity, we'll click refresh, and we'll click DocuSign proposal. We'll click next. We'll review the recipients, they look good. Now we'll review our document. All right, look at that address, looks great. Our expiration date's in the right format, our amount and our cost of our products are in the right format. Everything looks perfect. Let's send this out. Now we need to work on configuring our opportunity page layout so that we can see that the DocuSign package went out. So we'll go to back of Salesforce and setup. We'll go to the opportunity object. We're going to add the DocuSign status related list to the page layout. And then we'll add in the status, the email subject, because that tells us which document went out. Then the sent field tells you the time that it was sent. Completed field tells you when it was completed. And then you can also add in the time to complete if you wanted, and then who sent it out. Hit OK. We'll do a quick save. Now let's refresh our opportunity page. And we see the DocuSign status. So we can see that the proposal was sent out by me, and status is sent. So it will say status is delivered if it's still sending out to the recipients, and then it will change automatically to sent. The other thing that happened is our stage went to negotiation review. So that's part of the updates that we did in the configuration for the DocuSign envelope template record. So that automation is working. Now what we need to do is confirm that the first recipient signed it. Now, if you wanted, say you don't remember who you sent it to, you can click into this DocuSign status record, and this tells you all of that information. You can see that you have the related objects section here. So if a DocuSign document is sent out from the account case, contact, contract lead, or opportunity, these fields will automatically be populated for you. If you're sending it out from any other custom object record or any other standard object record, you will need to create a lookup field on the DocuSign status record and then create a flow that updates this record. There is a field called a source ID. So let's go in and edit this page layout and edit the Lightning record page so that we can see everything on one page like we did with the DocuSign envelope template object. So I'll go to edit object. We'll go to the page layout, and there's a field called Salesforce Source ID, and this is the ID of the record that the DocuSign was sent from. So that's what you would use in your flow to populate your lookup field. So then you can show the DocuSign status related list on your custom object. We will show you how to do all that in a future video. We'll quick save this and then we'll go ahead and create our Lightning record page. Okay, so my typical setup: highlights panel, record detail, enhanced related lists. We'll click save here. We'll activate it and assign it as the org default. Now I'll refresh my page over here. Now I can see who is supposed to do what, when, where, how, right? So Mickey Mouse is going to sign it first, Cheryl's going to sign it second, and then Mickey Mouse is going to get a copy. I guess I didn't pick the right third person, different person there. I picked the same primary contact and contact role, but that's okay. So when you're testing, you want to make sure that all these three people are different people with different email addresses so that you can validate that the emails are getting sent out correctly. So here's what my first signer is seeing. So they can edit the phone number. So we'll change that to a 2 on the end and just confirm that that data is then updated back into Salesforce. They can see the names and the prices just fine. They have to initial. And then they have to sign and then put in their title. They'll finish. And that's what the process would look like for your customer or prospect. I'll go ahead and sign as myself here off camera. Okay, so I have now signed. We will go back to the opportunity and we should see this DocuSign status go to completed. So we'll just refresh this. It takes about a couple of minutes. All right, we just saw it go to completed. We saw our opportunity stage go to closed one, which is beautiful. Then we should see our files come in here, which we do. Okay, we can see that we've got some weirdness in our file naming, and I'll show you where you can fix that. We need to fix that, but then our certificate for completion is coming in just fine. So this is exactly what it'll look like. And then underneath your DocuSign status record, you'll be able to go and look at the different recipients and what time they completed everything. Now there's one more thing that you can add to your opportunity record page. You need this to be able to void documents. So we're gonna edit the Lightning record page and we're gonna drop our DocuSign tab on here and give you this Lightning component that the DocuSign package provides you with called DocuSign envelope status. We will drag some tabs on here. You can put this wherever you want. This is usually just what I do. We'll make the details tab first. I'm going to make this a custom. And then we'll call this DocuSign. Click on the tabs. I will select details there. I'll drag and drop the record details. Then I'll select the DocuSign tab. I'll drag and drop the DocuSign envelope status, and then we'll click save. Then we'll go back to our opportunity. We will refresh, and then we can see that our envelope was completed. Now, if you need to void the document, so let me go ahead and send this again. You may want to hide your DocuSign proposal button if your stage is closed one, because I have seen users mash that button over and over again. If you don't want them to be able to do that, hide it when it's closed one. Use the dynamic buttons up there to show hide when the stage is closed one. All right, we're just gonna send this out again so I can show you how to void a document from that Lightning component. Okay, we'll come back to the record. And then this should show two. Ooh, let's go back here. Let's refresh this. There we go. Now we see the second one was sent, and then we can see our DocuSign status up here was sent. If you need to void it, you can just click this and you can say void envelope. Pricing was incorrect. You can click void. And that's what that'll look like. And then your DocuSign status should be updated as well to voided. Okay, one thing that did not validate was that the phone number was updated on Walt Disney World when we changed it. And we can see that we added that too. So that is changed. The other thing that I said I was going to show you was how to update the name of the document. Because when we saw it go out, it had .docs on the end. It had .docx.pdf. So we'll come in and we'll edit our DocuSign envelope template record again. We will click next, next, next. And then up here, we're going to click edit documents and we're going to click rename here. And we're going to take off that docx. That's where it's coming from. We'll click done and we'll do a save and close. And then that'll fix that. And then we need to make sure that we save and close here. Now, the last thing I wanted to show you was how you can configure some list views for your users to add to their home page. So this DocuSign status record is hugely helpful to keep an eye on a lot of different records. If you have a lot of different proposals and contracts and all kinds of stuff out there pending signature. So if we come to this tab, we can create a new list. And let's say that you want to create a list view that only shows the ones that are pending signature. So we can say maybe this list isn't for all users, maybe because they don't care about everybody else. If they've sent something out, they only care if they've sent something out. But we'll make this list for us. We'll say that the status equals sent or delivered. And we shouldn't have any in here. Perfect. Okay, and then let's say that you wanted to make a list view that only shows your users who are the opportunity owner their DocuSign status records. So meaning that maybe one of your salespeople is the opportunity owner here. They sent out the proposal for signature, and now you want to put the DocuSign status record in a list that only shows the DocuSign status records related to their own opportunities. You can do it a couple of different ways. One way, you can create a flow that's going to update the owner of the DocuSign status record. You may not want to do that yet. Maybe you don't have any automations firing on this record yet. But there is an owner field that you can leverage, and you can update that and then use that field to control the My Records filtering and list views. Now, we don't have any automations. We don't want to build a flow for this. We want to go the easy route. So the easy route here is we're going to add a custom field to the DocuSign status record. And it's going to be a formula. It'll be a checkbox. And it's going to be called current user is op owner. Then we'll click next. Then our formula is our op owner ID equals our current user ID. So whoever's a logged in user, if it matches the opportunity owner of the DocuSign status record, we want it to show in the list view. In the help text, we're going to explain why we created this field. This field is used as a helper field in list view filtering to show the DocuSign status records where the current user is the opportunity owner of the DocuSign status record it's related to. I'll click Next. This field does not need to go on the page layout, and we'll click Save. So now let's go back to our DocuSign status tab. And here's all our pending signatures for all users. We can also clone this to say these are, you can call this whatever you want. I'll call it completed signatures. And this is going to be status is completed. We have one record coming in here, and we'll just update these fields showing here. And then we'll also do the email subject because that tells us what it was. And we don't need the envelope ID. Okay, let's save this. Okay, this looks good. So let's clone this. And this is going to be for our sales users. So we'll do my completed signatures. You'll share this list with only them. And then you will add a filter here that says current user is op owner equals true. Click done and save. So I should still be able to see this list. Perfect. Now we can do the same thing with the pending signature. You can clone this. You can call it my pending signature. And then you would add the filter to this one as well. Now, this is a great list to put on somebody's homepage. So we like to make the homepage a command central for team members. It is only the things that current user cares about should go on the homepage, not what the current user's manager cares about, because the homepage is all about the user. It's not about anybody else, in my opinion. So it should only contain things that user is going to find valuable and needs to keep an eye on daily. This is one of them. They don't want to have to go digging for their DocuSign status tab. It'd be nice if we just added these list views to their homepage. So we have a homepage for our sales app, which is assigned to our sales users. And then we can add these to list views if they want. We would check with them first, of course. So we would add a list view here. And then we would change our object to be DocuSign status. And then we would say my pending signature, however many records you wanted to show there. And you can hide all this stuff because they're not going to do any editing there unless you have a requirement for it. And then we can also do my completed if they wanted to see those. I know the teams I've worked with love seeing these two lists on their homepage because they don't have to go digging. Okay. So now we'll click Save. Those changes should have been saved. Let's go to our homepage and just make sure, we can see those two list views. So that's it. You've just updated your homepage so that your users can keep an eye on the documents that they send out for signature. That's it. That's a wrap. We hope you've gained some valuable insights into how to configure the DocuSign for eSignature package. Be sure to subscribe to Blue Tiger Academy so you don't miss the upcoming videos on how to further work with DocuSign and Salesforce. In the next video, we will show you how to configure a form that is pre-populated with data from Salesforce, and then after the user fills out the form, the data is going to be written back to Salesforce. If you have any questions about this video, or if you would like to see a tutorial on a different Salesforce topic, let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.